Hi, I'm here with Angela Robert, the co-founder of Conquer Experience, which is an operating room training tech company. And she's also the winner of SAC 2018 round. Angela, I'm glad to have you here. Can you just tell the people who are watching what your company does and how you got started?
Yeah, definitely. Conquer Experience has an experience platform. And the experience platform we really leverage with a product called PeriOpSim. So PeriOpSim is the training solution for operating room nurses and surgical technologists that mainly we've been selling into US healthcare.
Great. And when you came into the SAC round, where were you at in your fundraising experience?
We were post spin out restructure. So we had just made the decision to move and focus 100% on PeriOpSim. So our prior company was a services company that did enterprise digital mobile applications, and PeriOpSim was really starting to get some traction. So we shifted and went to focus 100% on that because of the opportunity was really clear, product market fit was happening, and SAC fit into our pre-seed round out of that.
Yeah, that's great. So when I saw you, tell me about your SAC experience, like lessons learned and anything you could share with current founders or future founders that might be watching this.
Yeah, so with the SAC experience, honestly, it's not just because I'm doing this for SAC. It was probably the best fundraising experience I have had. And I have fundraised, for a number of years for, my prior company. So the key thing that stood out for me with SAC was I love the structure and the process. So one of the hardest things as a founder is to implement structure and process into your fundraising strategy. So I really felt that SAC, because of the way it's organized and focused, it helped me focus and like set deadlines for everybody else that on that fundraising path. And along the way you have really clear advice, you have a really clear set of deliverables. Like I was traveling as well throughout that whole process, and the flexibility to like send in pitch videos or do a lot of, especially because we're from Vancouver, do things remotely. It was so nice, and I felt from a founder's perspective that you guys cared about my experience, which was awesome.
That's good to hear. So
Yeah.
you've had a full year since winning, and you've had the last couple months to adjust to kind of our new world with COVID, which is one of the reasons I wanted to talk to you, given that you're in working with frontline workers, nurses specifically. How has COVID shifted things for your company?
um very um very sort of fast and very dramatically, so but in a really good way. So the key thing to think about, like for us in particular, is we sell directly to hospitals, Department of Surgical Services, um, and when COVID happened, the number of surgeries decreased, electives were rescheduled or delayed, staff was repurposed, like say 30% surgeries that are happening, so staff was repurposed into other areas of the hospital. So our customer base during that time, just as we were going to ramp up our events, our digital media marketing, everything for this one market, they're busy. So I was like, okay, what do I do? Like my customer base is busy, like they're not going to care about what we're doing right now. And so I was really lucky to have someone that approached me about an opportunity in an adjacent market that was like on our roadmap, but I couldn't figure out, like people talk about pivoting and changing business models and testing business models. We thought about it and talked about this particular thing like 5 or 10 times, but I never committed. I never had that pressure to commit. But I also, like, what came out of that was I didn't have a choice. I had to do something. And so we committed to focusing on the surgical tech schools and putting together like a no-brainer package. So I was able to interview because I had contacts, because I had leads coming in from this adjacent market. They tell you to focus. So, focus, I'm ignoring these, but then the things I was ignoring, I still had access to. So, I was able to leverage that, like business data, right? It was business data that I held on to, and, good relationships with people, and, really hearing, and understanding what's going on for, individuals. And so we are able to quickly whip together a program, our platform, and just experience made, launching on multi-platform across a various number of devices that these educators now had to move to at-home learning. And so we're able to, get really sort of empathetic into what those educators were dealing with,
Mhm.
and come up with a solution that would work for them, and understand. And they were just thrilled that we could actually help them. Like, they were so thrilled.
That you were there. Given the new world that we're living in, once things calm down, in this kind of urgent situation, do you think demand for the original content will go up?
So we've been getting, throughout this process, we continue to get all of our renewals. So we did, we had, customers turn previously. So we changed what we were doing, and we've got regular customer success calls. And so now these customers are renewing, and they've been renewing through all of this craziness. Because I had this customer success process, they answered my phone calls when I was checking in on them to see, like, can we help? Can we help? I was able to sort of, as well, look down my product roadmap and say, what is on there? Like, because as an entrepreneur, you've got tons of ideas, but it's trying to figure out, like, which avenue to go down. And so I've been testing out a new product feature package, that, like, even this morning, I've had maybe like 10 conversations now, but this morning, I'm making some really great progress, and I'm able to make progress by understanding what everybody's going through. So having, because I'm on phone calls across the US and sometimes globally, and asking people, like, what are they seeing on the ground? What's happening? How are they feeling? Just really understanding that, and seeing if you can come up with a solution for them with, the resources that you have.
That's great. Do you think there will be some sort of COVID training simulation that you can create? I've seen some videos of how UW's hospitals have responded. Is that something that might happen in the future?
Yeah, the video aspect is very, very important. And it's something that is baked into our platform. So it's part of it's a foundational element in how we create content. And so, as part of the sort of experiment or testing that I'm doing, it is around, you're sort of leading me into that, but it is around the video aspect. And but there's a lot of players in the ed tech space, and so it's trying to figure out where how we're different, where we're different, as well. And yeah, and then how we can, because we're a new educational tool in this particular segment, how we can give the customers confidence, and like how our customers, this is the good problem to solve, and why freemium is actually an interesting business model right now. Is my call this morning, the customers like, how do we buy something when we're bleeding cash? How do we do that? And when I went down sort of that path with him, there was just trying to learn more. I ended up finding out, some really interesting solutions, and freemium is a potential avenue, or one that is ties into cash conservation, right? Like really thinking about how are they investing cash to conserve cash.
Right.
So those are two aspects that I learned this morning on a Gartner call. So I'm not going to take credit for it, but I was able to apply the webinar and yeah, and really use it in the customer call.
That makes good sense. On a lighter note, before we hang up, you spent many years in the gaming industry at EA. Are there any games we should be testing out right now while we're all on lockdown? What are you doing with your free time?
So I don't actually play a lot of games, like video games on a regular. Um, what I have done is I played one game of online chess and I lost, but that's okay.
Or somewhere.
Yeah, and one of the things that I tend to do, sometimes more than others, is like see how you can make every day a game, or like aspects, like gamify your day in some way. So you've got 5 minutes before the next meeting. Can you vacuum and or do something in that period of time? Or you are like before this call, I was saying, okay, can I make lunch and eat lunch before this call? And I was okay if it went either way. And someone called, and then I failed at that one. I can go back and try it again.
You're
Try it again
gamifying
later.
your to-do list. I like that. We'll
Yeah,
try to apply that to our life. Well, thank you for your time, and good luck with all the transitions and everything you're juggling. And we'll check in with you soon.
wonderful. Thank you so much.